Welcome back to another UNC Tar Heels football recruiting podcast here on TarHeelIllustrated.com. And if you're watching us on our growing YouTube channel, Tar Heel Illustrated, I am THI publisher Andrew Jones, and joining me is our director of football recruiting, Miss Deana King. And Deana, another commitment. These are starting to fly off the shelf, if you will, for a class that's going to be 14 deep, maybe a couple more, depending if they might wait for certain guys in the fall, but it's not going to be a big class. So when you get a commit, it's a big deal. North Carolina has added four-star cornerback Marcus Allen. He attends Walton High School in Marietta, Georgia. 6'2", 170 pounds, the number 37 corner nationally, the number 36 overall prospect in very talent-rich Georgia. He chose Carolina over a Final Three that included Auburn and Georgia Tech. Both of those schools he recently took official visits to, and he took one to North Carolina last weekend in June. He got his 3 OVs in, and he made up his mind. And by the way, he also had offers. He's got 30 offers, I think. So he's also got Georgia on there, Florida State, Miami, Michigan, Tennessee, and many, many others. So your thoughts? Marcus Allen is the latest prospect to pop from Mack Brown and the Tar Heels.
One thing about him, I think he can be versatile. I know he's listed as a cornerback, but I think he can play safety too, and just get him in the system, and kind of like what Dre and Bateman, they're in charge of the DBs, see what he can do the best at, and just let him work with whatever fits his skill set. Georgia kid, I mean, Carolina's really doing well in Georgia. They're trying to, that's part of their blueprint, and getting a kid from right outside Atlanta and everything is really good for the Tar Heels.
Yeah, right outside of Atlanta, it's been a huge area for Carolina going back a long time. Larry Fedora had a lot of success recruiting in the area. I don't know if they're hitting it as hard now as Larry did, because I think the focus is more here in the Carolinas than it was under that staff. But it's a big deal getting this guy out of there. I mean, again, Georgia offered, and he said no to Georgia. He was interested in Georgia Tech. He's an academic kid. Auburn's an interesting option there too, not too far away from Atlanta. North Carolina much further away. What is the fit here? You've been marking this recruitment for a while, and we've had fun talking about his name because Marcus Allen from a long time ago is one of the great football names of all time. But in being serious about him, you've been tracking him for a while. So what is the fit here?
I think it's a common theme with any defensive back at UNC. Dre Bly, I mean, the kids, he can relate so well with the kids. He's done everything that they're hoping to do. He's coached, he's played, he's trained an NFL phenom, the Gilmore guy. So I mean, he's a kid. I think they feel more comfortable with a coach that they know has actually been in the situation and everything like that. And so we knew how much he liked UNC because he came up for the spring game in the rainy, cold, well, not cold, but rainy day in Chapel Hill to see that spring game. And Carolina had a lot of kids that came out there to see that event, even though the weather did not cooperate. It showed the staff, that these kids are really serious about considering North Carolina. So even though bad weather, he still got to see Carolina and had a good time. And so he scheduled official and had a outstanding visit, and now he's a Tar Heel.
There was a time in the spring and around that period and before where you thought we really need to keep our eyes on this kid, that he really could be in the mix. And then I wouldn't say it drifted away some, but there were other names that came into the mix that we thought, okay, maybe these guys are in play.
They had a lot of offers out to DBs. I mean, and some of them have already made their choices and everything. But we highlighted him back when we did the series about the targets, and he was one that at that time, he had come to Carolina for that spring game visit, and when June 1st opened up, he got to go and actually meet the staffs, and that's one key thing that I've been hearing when you talk to the kids is they're really enjoying the face-to-face meetings with the staffs. I mean, Andrew, we have Zooms. All of us on the staff have Zooms, but it's a lot better when you're in person and the environment and everything. We all had a ball for the Showtime camp, so just imagine the kids getting to meet those guys that have contacted them all those times.
Especially when they have to make such important decisions. For some of these kids, it's the most important decisions they've made in their young lives. And I think that's where Mac and Carolina has had a little bit of an advantage over some programs over the past month or so when everything opened up, is because they're really good at that in-person stuff. Mac is phenomenal. Mac's like a great handshaker. And he's someone that when you have that 15 seconds shaking his hand and looking him in the eye, you feel like you're the only person he's talking to that day. Well, that's the way he is. And with these kids, it really resonates. But it's not just him. It's the other people on the staff. It's the whole culture of the staff. It's the culture of the team. Kids tell us all the time now about how it feels. The kids that went before a couple years ago, and now they say it feels different. The kids now just say there's a level of comfort when they walk into the Keenan Football Center, when they walk into the Coleman practice complex. There's such a level of comfort and easiness that it draws them in. So a kid like this, who has other great offers, he's got that, and he's got the Dre Bly factor. And let's face it, some kids from that area have had a lot of success going to North Carolina.
Yeah, he just a good fit, and he wants to be there, and he's going to get good coaching. So just another big pickup for Carolina.
Marcus Allen, a name that shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be hard to remember for anybody who's over the age, at least I would say over the age of 40, that has watched the sport of football, because there was a great Marcus Allen back in the 70s and 80s and everything else. So Marcus Allen is the latest member of the class of 22 to pop for Mac Brown and the Tar Heels. The class of 22 is filling up quickly. So guys who want to be in, they got to hop on board and grab some of those last few spots, Deana.
Yeah, the limited spots, so another huge pickup. There's not many left, so we're can keep on monitoring all those targets. It's getting close. I know Coach Brown and staff want to. I think they really would like to wrap a lot of these up, and so I mean, they still have to keep recruiting the kids to keep them committed, but it's a little bit easier when you know they're committed and et cetera.
Four-star cornerback Marcus Allen from Marietta, Georgia. He's in the books now for North Carolina. She's Deana. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.